Now, before trying an XSS, I usually try to see if I can inject normal HTML code, because HTML injection is still considered as a vulnerability in many bug bounty programs. And if you're doing a pen test, then you should certainly include it as a discovery. So a HTML injection is actually just pretty much very similar to XSS. It just means that we can inject HTML code instead of JavaScript code. Usually, if I manage to discover a HTML injection, in most cases, I'm able to convert it into an XSS, and therefore I would have two vulnerabilities discovered instead of one. So let's start with a simple example, and then we're going to move on to more complex ones. As you can see, Target is a normal website, looks like a blog. And as usual, if you're targeting this website for the first time, whether it's a bug bounty or if it is a normal pen test, you just want to, first of all, visit the website itself, see what it is. It's a blog, pretty cool. Load the blog post, for example, view post, look at it, see what we can do. Okay, we can add a comment, maybe just even add a normal comment and see what happens, see if you can exploit these comments, go back, all that kind of stuff. Not really going to do it now because we covered it before, just want to talk about it. And then you see a search functionality. Cool, let's try to search for something. So let's search for test, see if it works. Actually works. We got 0 results for test. Let's actually search for something that is in the website. So digital, there's this word digital here. So I'm just going to type digital just to see if the functionality works. It works. Cool. We got 1 result. See, as I mentioned earlier, JavaScript is interpreted or executed by the browser. So if you have an input, whether it's an input like this in like a post box, like this one in here, or if it is in here in the URL, if you have a value here in the URL that is being displayed on the current page, that means that we as a user can actually inject normal text. We're not saying it's a vulnerability. It just means that whatever I type, whether it's in this box or in the URL, I can actually see it on the web page. So that itself should be a really good hint for you that we might have an XSS vulnerability if the programmers were not careful. Because I can type things using my keyboard, whether in the text box or in the URL, and I will see it on screen. So I know it's something very simple. Like I'm saying, you're simply just typing something and you see it on the web page. But the implications of this can be very, very dangerous if it's not handled properly, because we as users can manipulate this input and maybe inject some code in it. So let's try this very, very simply. Before trying an XSS, I usually try to see if I can inject normal HTML code, because HTML injection is still considered as a vulnerability in many bug bounty programs. And if you're doing a pen test, then you should certainly include it as a discovery. So a HTML injection is actually just pretty much very similar to XSS. It just means that we can inject HTML code instead of JavaScript code. So it's a step below. It's not as dangerous, but it means that we can still manipulate the page in some shape. So to inject HTML, you can just try any HTML element. And just to keep this simple, so I'm just going to do digital again. So that's what we searched for. And this time there is a tag in HTML that is called the B tag. And this tag basically makes whatever text that you put inside this tag, it makes it bold. So if you type B digital/B, whatever that is inside, which is the B, should be bold. So notice how the B is normal now. And if I search now, as you can see, the B is bold. So if I inspect this element to see the HTML code responsible for rendering this page, you will see that we have the HTML code that I injected, the B and the /B injected in the page. And we obviously don't see it here in the result because the browser is interpreting this part. The browser knows that this B is actually not part of the text. This is a HTML element. And therefore, I'm going to render it, accept it, and execute it. And when it does that, it makes whatever that is inside it as bold. So that means now we can inject any HTML element. If you know HTML, you can start playing with this, or you can just go use Google and see what kind of HTML elements we can inject. So you can do, for example, instead of injecting the B, we can do a href equals zsecurity.org. And we'll say click here. And let's do /a and search. And now we have a link injected in the page. Now this is pretty bad because this page is not supposed to have this link. And if we click on this link, I'll just open it in a new tab. It'll actually take me where I want to go. So you could actually have a fake page in here, a fake login page, or a page that contains malicious downloads or whatever. So this on its own is a vulnerability in bug bounty programs. And if you're doing a pen test, you've already done pretty well.